Hey, gang. Good morning. Mastiff Media, you're in the doghouse. It's Yergz, another session of Up the Middle. I am still sick. Not sounding too bad right now. I'm actually going to have to play like a 20 or 30-second commercial because I left my coffee in the other room. Damn it. 99.1 WDJY. We're live every Monday through Friday now. My notes say that's starting next week, but that's not. We're there. You're in the doghouse. Mastiff Media. You following me here? Mastiff Media, the name of the company that I've created to do this and some other things. We're also with 1490 WWPR in Bradenton, Tampa Bay, Florida. America1Radio.com, also based out of Atlanta, Atlanta's Progressive Talk. The UG.media. Just talked with them today. We will be going live with them instead of the tape delay recording. That will be this Friday. We're also, of course, still live on rainbowradio.gay and yergzradio.com. Welcome to the Mastiff Media Network. It is Hump Day. We've got, where is it now? I had things to copy and paste into the show notes, and I screwed it up. I got to go back here. This one other. So, yeah, day number 3 of an everyday affair. And I am still sick. The VP has her VP. We made that announcement yesterday, and I watched him on YouTube last night. The Philadelphia event on YouTube. After it was over, all said and done. What an energy. What an energy that dude has. And I think having had no idea who the hell he is, not a bad pick. Got some more good news. I promise you, there are plenty of things about me that are conservative. Really, there are. It's just that what is left of the Republican Party, and I don't even call it the Republican Party anymore. It's the MAGA movement. And they're such asshats that it's not the Republican Party. I think the Republican Party, like the rebels in Star Wars, are hiding on a snowy planet right now in Jackson, Wyoming, ready to make their comeback. But I'm talking about that today because, one, we'll talk about in the news, another Republican has been arrested. And also, abortions are up. What does that mean? Well, besides the obvious, we'll get into that too. And finally, stick around as I tell you more at the end of the show. More about Mirror Mondays, starting this coming Monday. Yes, we're going to be looking into a mirror. And whatever that does from there is up to you. I do not have my camera on yet. Hold on. There we go. Hey, everybody. For those of you joining on video, sorry about the... I did that all day yesterday, and by design, because... I don't even have lights on yet. By design, because I was sick. I was constantly hacking. I'm still sick. I'm not hacking as much, thank God. But it's really attractive when I do it. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I get moments like that right there. I get winded. I'm just sitting here in a chair talking. I still do got to go get that coffee because I can't not have that in my hand. So yeah, now I just told you what we're going to talk about today. I had to go back into one of the settings where I put it into metadata because I didn't copy and paste it to my notes yet. Okay, that's done. 11:05 on the East Coast, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, wherever else you're joining. 8:05 out west. 4:05 in London. We'll talk about that too. Another cool announcement. I'm putting the feelers out there. And I don't know what else I got to do. But the stations that are struggling, that I'm willing to pay money for to get on their station, don't call you back. And I'm like, really? What are you doing? I'm just finishing the show notes like I should have done. First up today, though, Billy Beane, baseball legend, dead at the age of 60. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, and setting up today's Twitter Spaces sessions for today's show, one of the news over here, NBC is reporting, and I mean, they all have got it, but yeah, Billy Beane, the second openly gay Major League Baseball player, dies at the age of 60 from a long form, I don't know the whole thing, but leukemia, essentially. From the California area, died surrounded by friends and family. Here we go. Acute myeloid leukemia. He was the second former Major League player to come out as gay back in 1999 before becoming part of the sport's senior vice president for diversity, equity, and inclusion. He died at home Tuesday. That would be, what are we at today? Yeah, it's yesterday. After fighting leukemia for about the past year. Born in 1964 in California. Played 6 years in the Bigs from 87 to 95. Made his debut with the Detroit Tigers and his tie with the most hits in his first game. 4 base hits in his Major League debut. That's a stud. Also played for the Dodgers and the Padres. 2-time All-American outfielder at Loyola Marymount. Leading, I don't know what they called the Marys. Leading the team to the NCAA Men's College World Series in '86. He wrote a book, Going the Other Way. Was also a keynote speaker. Publicly came out as gay in 1999. Second former major leaguer to do so after Glenn Burke. Never heard of the guy. I actually met Billy Beane. Never heard of Glenn Burke. Beane joined the commissioner's office in 2014 when he was hired by former Commissioner Bud Selig to be baseball's first ambassador for inclusion. He spent more than 10 years working for Major League Baseball, eventually being promoted to senior vice president. He worked with Major League clubs to advance equality for all players, coaches, managers, umpires, employees, and stakeholders throughout baseball to ensure an equitable, inclusive, and supportive workplace for everyone. That's the actual statement, purpose or whatever. Job description. There we go. Current Commissioner Rob Manfred's made a statement saying, "Our hearts are broken today as we mourn our dear friend and colleague, Billy Beane, one of the kindest and most respectful individuals I have ever known. Billy was a friend to countless people across our game, and he made a difference through his constant dedication to others. I think that's all of it. Yeah. So, Billy Bean, dead at the age of 60. Rest in peace, man. Really cool dude. So, I'm going to go get my coffee. You guys chill. I got this coming. 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR. The Mastiff Media Network will be back after this one word.
Do you have a podcast? Of course you do. It's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. Well, I got something for you. Flowsend.ai. All you do is take your pre-recorded data, click, drag, and drop right into the inbox for Flowsend AI. Click a button, and out comes everything that you're going to need. From the transcript to content, such as keywords, titles for your episode, the timeline, posts for LinkedIn, posts for Twitter, Instagram, other smaller platforms, all the things that it takes you hours to do in literally minutes. So go to flowsend.ai. Tell them Yergz sent you and get your subscription today. Worth every penny. Flowsend.ai.
I'm here. Those of you on video. And everybody around the Mastiff Media listening audience. Spilled a cup of the morning sauce in your direction. Especially you, Billy. Rest in peace, pal. So the VP made his first appearance. Well, I'm... Let me slow down. Sorry. He's not there yet. The VP, the current one, made her first appearance with her VP choice in Philadelphia. Now, I got to admit, I fell for it. Totally. I thought, okay, Philadelphia, it's Shapiro, Pennsylvania. Hello. No. Boom. Got me. Hook, line, and sinker. Well done, Miss Kamala. Well done. So I'm watching this, and she's pretty energetic. I mean, for all of this nonsense that the MAGA movement has been down talking to her. And if you want to jump in, by the way, you put the phone number back up. You can always email, but that's not really going to do much good today. But there is a phone number. 1-888-88 Yergz. 1-888-88 YERGZ. Give us a call. Let us know what you think about walls. We were talking, I think it was yesterday. Yeah. I confused the pronunciation and spelling of his last name with the actor from Inglourious Bastards and the one who recently played Blofeld in the Daniel Craig series of James Bond movies. And that is Christopher Waltz with a T in there. This one is just WALZ. And in addition to being a very energetic person, which tired me out in about 20 seconds. I mean, dude's good. He went on the attack, a classy attack, a fair political debate one candidate versus another attack on J.D. Vance. And made some fair points. I mean, here's a guy who, what is it that Huckabilly or Hickabilly, whatever, he says, I'm from Middle Appalachia. I am, yeah, we do a Howard Stern moment on occasion. I don't shy getting out the extra air pressure. We do he does the, from Middle America, Huckabilly, whatever it is. He went to Harvard. Tell me again how that is Middle America. And Walsh points that out. He goes, because like all of you from the Appalachia and your Harvard degrees or something like that. And of course, Philly did not let me down. My friends from Philly know how to bust a ball or two or three. And they clearly got that joke. We're all too happy to laugh their asses off. And this is the same crowd that booed Donald Trump for releasing sneakers at a sneaker convention. It's the same crowd who, during the Redskins-Eagles game, I know my Philly people know where I'm going with this one. During the Redskins-Eagles game, booed Santa Claus for wearing red. That's right. Because it was close enough to the Redskins uniform, my peeps booed Santa Claus. Only in Philly. I mean, I seriously believe New Yorkers can't even be that rude. And these guys punch Tampa Bay hockey fans walking home from a game. You remember that from a couple years ago, Rangers Bolts. So yeah, I really like the energy of this guy. He's practical. Speaking of Middle America, he's from a graduate. Get this. You ready? He's from a graduating class in Nebraska. You know, like the actual dead middle of America. He's from a graduating class in Nebraska of 24 students. 12 of those students he was related to. 12 of his graduating classmates were his cousins. Welcome to Nebraska. Followed in his dad's footsteps and went into the Army. Served for 24 years, I think it was. I have to remember, I have to go back and watch the video again or get some notes somewhere. And I'll get the video. It'll be in the show notes, of course. Try not to hack. Serves in the military. His dad was a Korean War vet. He serves in the military. Gets out, uses the GI Bill to go to college, also like his dad. Becomes a school teacher. I forget for how many years, but taught taught social studies, and coached football before being encouraged by his students to run for Congress. Now, this was the statement he made about the district that he represent, or would have represented had he been elected. And we'll get to that. He registered as a Democrat to run for Congress in the one district of Nebraska that had one Democrat in something like 150 years. Now that's, and don't hold me to the time frame. It was about that. I don't know if I am missing, if I'm off a little bit, plus or minus. But roughly 150 years, one Democrat. And I'm presuming that means that's how many people have been elected to office. Not that the entire district has had one Democrat, as in like constituents, in that time frame. But he got elected. He did it. And represented the people in Nebraska. Or actually, I'm not sure. Maybe he, by that point, moved to Minnesota. I don't know. I have to go back and check that. Point being, gets elected to Congress. And basically, the leadership that, and this is why his students pushed him, was because the leadership that he's teaching them, it was a clear case of he practiced what he preached. And they just gave him the, dude, you'd be great kind of thing. And, you know, I've got to think so often when stuff like that happens, teachers who follow the advice of their kids like that. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying, you know, they do it as like a goof. Okay, ha ha ha. I'll run for office. And also, I'm not saying that he didn't want to win. I'm just saying that he probably wasn't really expecting to. Until maybe he got further along in the process, started seeing how, hey, you know, I'm doing kind of good here. But wins, gets elected, and not much after that before he gets elected to be governor. And he had nothing but great things to say about both Kelly and Shapiro. I've got to think that Shapiro's not out of this yet. And what I mean by that is, you know, likely cabinet position, because she needs him. Now, apparently, this whole Midwest thing, you know, combating J.D. Vance, which is not going to be hard. Minnesota is ideal for that. Yeah, he mentioned some abortion issues that we'll talk about in a second. But also, he's pro Second Amendment. Whoa. Kamala, I'm going to take your assault weapons as a vice presidential candidate? That's a barrel sucker? That can't be bad. And I agree with the statement that he makes. He said, we need sensible gun laws with regards to those who screw up, with regards to intelligent criminal checks, and we don't have that right now. I'm pro Second Amendment. There's some of my conservative. We were asking for that earlier. I'm pro Second Amendment. And I say we are doing a horrible job policing ourselves. Absolutely crap. And yeah, I mean, we need to do better, because then somebody like Kamala Harris is going to come along, and for very good reason, we'll take her guns. And it's like, Mom, stop crying. I'm going to give you something to cry about. That's the gun lobby right now. It's been the gun lobby. There's nothing new there. But Waltz, being a fellow gun guy, one, might keep Kamala in check. Are you hearing me, MAGA people who have no reason to vote for MAGA? But two, and I did a story on this over a year ago when we were talking about campaign issues. Our next issue is abortion. 20% of Republicans are pro-choice. But no, excuse me. That's the one I'm going to tell you now. 37% of Republicans are pro-choice. That's more than 1 in 3. So tell me again how the whole world wants to ban abortions, Donald. But also, 20% of Democrats, this is where that comes in, 20% of Democrats carry a gun. Let me say that again so you hear the verbiage I'm using very intentionally. 20% of Democrats, the libs, the progressives, the commies, the people that want to take your guns, carry one. As the kids are saying today, let that sink in. But more importantly, do the math. If roughly, if we're essentially split, if the country is quote unquote divided, and the polls are accurate, which I don't think they are, but let's, for instance, say that the polls are accurate, and it's relatively a dead heat between somebody that cares about our country and has a brain and Donald. Half of those people are Republicans. Half of those people are Democrats. In general, I know there's independents in there. I know there's other parties in there. But when it comes to where they're going for their candidate, that's the split. Basic split. And as such, for purposes of this conversation, the reason why. Okay. You know there's going to be very, very, very few Republicans willing to budge on the Second Amendment, even if they're not barrel suckers. gun guys. It's nothing. I guess it's more sexual than it is suicidal. That's not the intention of using that phrase. Gun guys. So there's 50% of your votes right there to get your bill passed to ban assault weapons. So that's half of our pool. It's going to vote no. You need some of them, which you might get. But I'll tell you how much you're not going to get. You're not going to get 21% of them to outweigh the 20% of your Democrats that are carrying. Now, that's 20% of Democrats that carry a gun. That's not the larger percentage of Democrats that are just in general pro-Second Amendment. So now to get that majority, you need 21% of the gun-carrying Republicans. You really need more than that to compensate for the Democrats that you're not going to be able to sway. So no, you will not be losing your assault weapons. And like I told you, I've been in D.C. I've lived that life. So I'll just say it again. You will not be losing your assault weapons. It's not going to happen. It happened already. Yes, there was a nosedive in attacks. There was also an increase in gun running, arms trade, illegal gun sales. The Democrats don't tell you that when they tell you about all the deaths that have been averted, which is a good thing. The fact that there were few mass shootings during the 10-year gun restriction put in by the Clinton administration is without question a good thing. I'm not saying it wasn't. It didn't fix the problem overall. Yes, it made it better. And I'm not opposed to making it better. But I'm also not opposed to causing more federal felonies that are going to cause more violence. And as a result, that's only going to be temporary. That reprieve from mass shootings is only going to be temporary before the gun-carrying powers that be get back to it. So this guy's pro-gun, pro-choice, and he also left the door open to not have an abortion. Now think about that. Isn't that the best way to make the pro-choice argument? Is to allow those involved to have a choice. By allowing abortion doesn't mean that you have to have one. It means you have to stay out of someone else's business, which is something that the Republicans say that they're for. Privacy, less government involvement, less government. Except when it comes to what happens after you screw and what books you want to read. Then we get to jump in and dictate. Nothing elected. Because remember, Ron DeSantis, we're keeping Florida free. Remember that? Somehow that got forgotten. So, yeah, I mean, the guy's got good energy. And I'm sorry I'm not matching it right now. But I am sick still. And this is going to be at least the rest of this week. But I'll be with you, and I'll be back. I got to take a break. Got to pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to talk about abortions on the rise. Not just the thing that causes the need for an abortion being on the rise, but abortions themselves are on the rise. And what does that mean? Well, it means more people are screwing, obviously. But also, what else does it mean? 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR, Mastiff Media. We'll be back. There it is. I was going to cut the commercial. I didn't have them. We'll be back after these words.
Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergz. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergz and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergz Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergz.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergz.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergz.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com.
All right, we're back. I should be playing this thing, but I didn't want to play the last commercial. I'm just basically asking for Trump supporters. There it is. And we're back. There we go. I'm just basically asking for Trump supporters in that last commercial. What's the deal? What do you see in the guy? We got a text message from Wajim Jack. I have no idea what that says. But thanks for checking in. I guess that's a phone number. 509 country code. We should call it. I don't know that I can do that from my Ring Central account, though. Thanks for checking in, Wajin. You can do that, by the way, on our social media accounts. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, wherever. Check in. We'll read it for those on the radio or social audio. But the video, obviously, it'll go on the screen. Maybe if it's, and I don't know, maybe you put some, maybe that was some bad language. I don't know. I guess with intent, nobody knows what it is. So no blood, no foul. But more importantly, call us 1-888-88-YERGZ. Where are we at here? Abortions are up. So I got to see if I can find that. Oh, and we got to talk about the FBI too. Another Republican got busted. That'll be part of the news, though. So, J.D. Vance lays out stipulation before agreeing to debate Tim Walz. Who are you, dude? Cat lady? To put your demands out there. He's such an asshat. I just don't see the appeal in either of them. Help me. What the? I get why Trump had an appeal. I get why Trump had an appeal. But I don't get the overall appeal now. And the Trump appeal that I got was Biden was still the candidate, the presumptive nominee. And so he thinks he's going to beat Biden, which I don't think was going to happen either, frankly. But let's say that was an actuality. Who do you want when you're trying to take over, become an autocracy, a dictatorship? And that's what it is. I watched another show last night. One of the things I'm going to do is create a list of researched, well-produced, and I don't mean just like a Facebook meme that says Trump sucks, but I mean something that was researched, likely with some sort of citations or interviews of people with direct involvement. Like this thing in Scotland, that's going to be one of the videos where he built a golf course in Scotland and where they claim to have, the Trump organization claimed to have met with locals, promised all these jobs, not even 10% were granted, damaged this one lady's source of water, never fixed it. She's now living there in spite. 90-some years old, living there in spite. Why? Not the prettiest place. Not something you would likely want to see aside of a lovely country club like Shangri-Trump. Oh, my back just cracked. That felt great. But she goes to a well when it has water. Then and that's pretty much been dried up. So now she has to go down to a stream. Keep in mind, some of this is in the winter. Very cold, humid winter. It's right on the coast. And she uses that water, brings it to her house, heats it on the stove, puts it in a basin, and that's how she bathes. She's not had a shower in something more than 3 years. Because the damage done to the underground pipes was never repaired. The accidental damage done to the pipes was never repaired. Even though this club, the Trump place, said that they would, at one point said within the next week they were going to begin. That was a couple of years ago. And there's even a law in Scotland. If a neighbor's source of water is on your property, like the stream, or excuse me, the spring that filled the surrounding wells is on your property, you are obligated to maintain the functionality of it. Now, if it goes dry, not a whole hell of a lot you can do about that. But if it becomes dammed up, like pipes are broken, or I don't know if they even have them there, but if beavers make a dam, it's your job to open that up and to do so for your neighbor. Nobody's held the Trump feet to the fire with regards to that law, which, although it may be, still is very much enforced throughout the rest of the country. So it's not like it's that the sodomy is still against the law too, but here we are with gay pride. No, this is enforced everywhere else, but in Scotland's version of Trumpville. Those are the kinds of things I'm looking at. Things about the 2020 election and his claim of needing to stop the steal, when in all actuality, it was the Trump campaign doing the stealing. Videos like that if you really want to call yourself a patriot, if you really even simply want to just call yourself an American, they're a must watch. There's no getting around this. We are at a time where we definitely, absolutely need to educate voters. If you watch that and you can, in your heart of hearts, and you make that little, that little symbol with your hands and thumbs and make the little heart and, I heart you, America. If after doing that research on your own, if after having a look at these videos, these feature films and documentaries and whatever else that I put together, you still think we need to make America great again, if you think we're not great enough compared to that lady in Scotland, vote your conscience. But do not call yourself a patriot when you vote for a guy who wants to take away your democracy. When he's referred to and compared to Hitler, it's not because, we're just trying to badmouth the guy. He reads the speeches of Hitler. He speaks in the same formula as Hitler. I was telling some people about came to power, served the community before doing so, was invited by the aristocrats of society to clean up the mess and restore order to the country. And everybody says, oh, yeah, you're talking about Donald Trump. Because clearly, what I'm articulating has been the path of Donald Trump. Would you like to know who I was actually talking about? Benito Mussolini of Italy. So there you go. Hitler, Mussolini, whoever it is you want it to be, that's who he follows. That's why he hangs out with Kim Jong-un and Xi and Putin. He's so far up Putin's ass, Putin looks like more of a cockroach than what he already looks like. But abortions are up. What's that mean? Well, besides the obvious that, we're screwing more. Okay. There are now restrictions in place prohibiting it. Florida, others. But also, if they're up, isn't that also a voice of the people saying, we are pro-choice, we are pro-mind your own business, we are pro-free Florida? The numbers don't lie. Politicians do. We got to do the news. And then I got to tell you about something we're starting on Monday. Help out a friend of one of my work wives. And a new sponsor. Well, a new affiliate. So she'll be with us every Monday for part of the show Monday. So one more break. We're going to do the news when we get back. 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR, Mastiff Media, and the Yergz Radio Network. We'll be back after these words.
From iHeart Podcasts.
What the hell is going on in here?
Everyone has their limits.
I'd never confronted a situation like this.
The numbers were being inflated and lied about and conflated.
I just thought it was just a really terrible, immoral thing for him to do.
A line they won't cross.
I was stunned, and I just said to him, no.
We're killing people. What exactly are we doing here?
I remember him saying, in this 007 evil villain kind of way, this is the beginning of a process.
You may never have to face that decision. When you find yourself at that line,
Thoughts racing, hearts racing, emotions are all over the place.
They could be harassed, they could be imprisoned, they could be killed.
Somebody needs to just, for once, give everybody the whole truth.
I'm like, this is evil.
and the only person who can sound the alarm is you.
She folded it up, put it in her pantyhose, and walked out of the building.
Yeah, I really am the world's dumbest criminal.
These are the whistleblowers.
I wasn't just going to sit silently by.
I was told you take your questioning black self and get it on up out of my facility because you're trouble.
The message is, if you are disloyal, if you speak out, you will pay.
This is what it's like when the president decides he wants to destroy you.
Bad things are going to happen to him. You're anti-American. You are a disgrace to our country. He should be prosecuted.
When power corrupts, conscience is the last line of defense.
Is it ever too late to do the right thing?
We talk about institutions, but they're really about individual people.
The responsibility drops in everybody's lap.
I'm Miles Taylor. The Whistleblowers premieres Thursday, July 13th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check out Miles Taylor and the Whistleblowers. I've referenced that plenty of times throughout Up the Middle, Both Sides Now, and Yergz Tonight. He does an excellent job telling the stories of various people who blew the whistle on the Trump administration and their reasons why, personal and professional, as well as the consequences that these people paid to get the truth to the public. Check out the Whistleblowers on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The July date that he mentioned is from 2023, and season 1 is complete. It's excellent, and it's still very relevant, probably now more than ever. So I certainly recommend that you give it a look. See you again.
There we go. So I'm just finishing up some of the things with the news. But, yeah, so we got to do some news, then we're going to get out of here. The FBI searched Rep. Andy Ogles' place. Of course, nobody's talking. And you heard one of the others that got on. The FBI searched Rep. Andy Ogles' house sometime last week, reported by Channel 5 in Tennessee. Although few details about the investigation have been released, sources told News Channel 5 that the FBI may have searched his electronic devices. Local law enforcement sources and neighbors say they had saw the commotion at Ogles' home in Maury County. Representatives for Ogles did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Ogles' attorney did not confirm or deny a search warrant after being contacted, this again by News Channel 5 in Tennessee. Nashville. Oh, well. Ogles was first elected to the House in 22. The questions have since Doug the freshman congressman, who I guess would be running for re-election right now, that is finances and resume again. Another George Santos. A complaint filed by the independent watchdog Office of Congressional Ethics, there it is, compared him to former New York Rep. George Santos, who was expelled from Congress with over 23 fraud-related charges, including stealing public money and wire fraud. The Tennessee congressman cruised to a primary election victory last week over a well-funded challenger after securing a coveted endorsement from former President Donald Trump. So Tennessee is clearly backwards. So nothing official on what was really going on inside the search in in Atlanta. Rapper T.I. was arrested at the Atlanta airport. That's what you heard kind of busting into the I think this is just a video. Might have to share here for a second. Here we are. Let's learn about T.I.
Handcuffs at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Identity sends Atlanta rapper T.I. to jail. Authorities placed T.I., whose real name is Clifford Harris, in handcuffs at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, and he was taken to the Clayton County Jail Sunday night. Officers had a warrant for Clifford Harris, but the Harris they were looking for was out of Baltimore, Maryland. Police say the suspect is wanted on charges of stalking and violent behavior toward a woman. T.I. was released after he contacted his lawyer.
Hey guys, we are giving out a ton of these DeWalt samples.
Okay, so that is not false arrest. What you didn't hear was mistaken identity. That's true. And unfortunately, that happens in this day and age where everybody's got the same name. But T.I. is back out and about, and apparently there was some footage of what looked like reality TV or mocking of reality. That's it, gang. We are actually out of here. We probably have or will lose the feed to Atlanta. We haven't already. Yeah, that's gone. For those of you, I got to get that back on. Yeah. I got to get that back on to tell everybody about Marz. I got to get something for my throat, too. Okay, so we're back there. All right, so lastly, that's the news. Mirror Mondays is going to be starting on Monday. A segment of the show is going to be my one work wife, Marccella, Marz, as we know and love her. She's going to be joining and giving a reading to whoever my guest is, or maybe to a lucky caller. Somebody will be joining us Monday with Marz. Mirror Monday, like mirror on the wall. That's where we're going with it. Or it was going to be Witchy Wednesdays. She was going to join us. She can't today, but a week from today. But it'll be Monday, Mirror Monday, starting Monday. Give us a call, line it up, get ready to be on. Or if we have a guest, maybe we'll give that person a reading, all in promotion of her psychic services. And I'm telling you, she knows her stuff. All right, gang. That's it for today. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same channel, same network. You've been in the doghouse and up the middle. Thanks again.
First of all, what? What? Relax, darling. We're all mishpucha. All right. Well, that's all the time we have this week. My name is Linda Richmond.
And my name is Liz. Of course, this is my mother. Barbara, we love you. Hello, gorgeous. The movie was like butter.
Like butter.
Like a big stick of butter.
Mama! Oi, all this talk about food, I'm getting hungry, girls.
She is like butter. Oh, I can die now. I can die. Barbara, you're beautiful. That's all the time we have. I have to go and die now.